Hi, T.O.T. Carlson here, and if you know me, you know it's always a pleasure when old favorites get their releases on 4K Ultra High Def discs. And the movie I'm going to be looking at today in an exclusive Steelbook package is Groundhog Day, the classic 1990s comedy starring Bill Murray and featuring supporting roles from the likes of Chris Elliott, Brian Doyle Murray, and Andie MacDowell. Believe it or not, I actually had never seen this movie before prior to picking up this disc, so I figured I was long overdue, and of course with this nice looking Steelbook package, what better time to act than now? We'll unbox this, I'll talk about the movie, and I'll share my opinions. Nice close-up of the package there, you got Bill Murray's face and the clock there, kind of tying to the theme of the movie. There's our spine text. Here's the top of the backing card. Here's the backing card that has all our legalese, credits, description of the film, and so forth. Underneath that, of course, we have a picture of the groundhog, because it wouldn't be complete without that. Inside, we have a digital code, and then one of those free movie things on the back. Our discs are here. The Blu-ray disc that's included is actually a repackaging of a much older Blu-ray disc. This Steelbook is considered the 30th anniversary edition of the movie, but the Blu-ray says 15th anniversary edition, which just shows that they did reuse an older disc. And in here, of course, we have our 4K disc. And here's the inside of the Steelbook with the discs removed. Got all our heroes in their news van there. And the critic quote on the package here says, "A comic time warp anyone should be happy to get stuck in." That's from Richard Corliss of Time magazine. And the description of the film is as follows. Bill Murray is at his wry, wisecracking best in this riotous romantic comedy about a weatherman caught in a personal time warp on the worst day of his life. Teamed with a relentlessly cheerful producer and a smart aleck cameraman, TV weatherman Phil Connors is sent to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania to cover the annual Groundhog Day festivities. After a surprise blizzard traps him in small-town hell, things get even worse. Phil wakes the next morning to find it's Groundhog Day all over again. And again. And again. Again, like I said, I had not seen this movie prior to picking up this release. I am kind of going back in time and covering a lot of the stuff that I didn't get to watch the first time around, despite how popular or critically acclaimed it may be. Surprisingly, the film is actually only rated PG, and that's odd considering Bill Murray is usually associated with R-rated comedies, which means the content here obviously is nowhere near as risque or ribald as a lot of the stuff you see him in, but surprisingly the movie manages to be no less effective despite that. He's the perfect, neurotic, disgruntled weatherman who would rather be anywhere than Punxsutawney to cover the festivities, and he just plays this role so well. And seeing how he reacts when he gets stuck in a time loop and has to decide between what to do with his time, including the likes of trying to win over the woman he loves, or just going completely crazy because there'll be no consequences to him waking up the next morning. It's a laugh riot throughout. And despite that, it actually does manage to have some pretty good dramatic and romantic moments in it. And that's no easy task, but Bill Murray really shows that he's up for the task here. It's one of the first movies that really started showing off his versatility and diversity as an actor, something that would really carry over to a lot of other movies he's been in, including the works of Wes Anderson. The supporting roles are no less excellent, including Andie MacDowell as his producer, who he ultimately finds himself infatuated with, the always entertaining Chris Elliott as his disgruntled cameraman, who I think would rather be working with just about anyone else, and then of course his brother Brian Doyle Murray plays one of the town officials. The movie manages to cover a lot of ground in its relatively short 100-minute runtime, but it's never boring, and honestly I think any fan of comedies or Bill Murray will definitely want to pick up this release. The movie looks very good in 4K with some pretty bright, vibrant colors and deep black levels. A lot of the movie does tend to have a grayish, sort of monotone look to it due to the wintry surroundings, but again, that's deliberate and that's how the movie was shot. I am happy to see it looking as good as it does here. I did pop in the old Blu-ray, and this is leaps and bounds ahead of that, although that was certainly a good-looking disc in its time. There are no bonus features on the 4K disc aside from a trailer, but I am happy to say that the included Blu-ray disc does include a lot of the archival stuff, including a commentary track that features the late director Harold Ramis, a picture-in-picture track, a real-life look at Marmots featurette, a Different Day featurette, and then a documentary called The Weight of Time. So there's nothing new as far as bonus material goes, but I am glad they carried over the archival stuff. I am glad I finally got to see this movie, and this 4K release certainly does it justice. I don't think any fan of the movie would be disappointed with what they see here. Are you a fan of Groundhog Day? Is this your favorite performance from Bill Murray? If not, what is? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.